Go ahead, get turkey money. You got a promising career. That shit will end. I promise you, that shit would end.
I will whoop your ass. I will.
Hey, I'll fold your ass up like a lawn chair.
I guarantee.
If you can't knock out Teofimo, you damn sure can't knock me out. And Teofimo
Tio beat your ass.
I said you couldn't knock him out, but you talking about you gonna lump me.
Tio was bigger than me.
Hey, Shakur.
Yo.
I know you had a lot to say about that situation that I went through last year. Don't let that situation.
What situation?
I still would rather check the bank accounts. That's fine.
You're being ignorant.
Shakur, book ignorant is something that should never come out of your mouth because you don't have a degree.
Okay.
I run circles around you in the club.
Shakur Stevenson appeared on Nightcap the other night, and things got heated pretty fast. This was probably one of the biggest crash outs I've ever seen from Shannon Sharpe, and watching it unfold, I couldn't help but to feel that there was something more to the weird energy he had towards Shakur. And I was right. Let's talk about it. The sport of boxing has always been one of those sports that stimulates a lot of opinions. Some of us watch the exact same fights and come away seeing the exact same things. And then there's others who somehow watch the exact same fight but describe an entirely different event, which is why conversations surrounding preferred fighting styles and opinion-based arguments usually stirs the pot. Sometimes a little too much that it brings out people's unfiltered emotions.
I saw Floyd after he had broke his hands. When Floyd was fighting at 30, at 35 and 40, when he fought Gotti, when he fought Ricky Hatton, hell no, he wasn't boring. When he fought Gotti, when he fought Ricky Hatton, when he fought Cotto, when he fought Corrales,
Now, when you're a sportcaster like Shannon Sharpe, Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, I think it's highly important that you do your due diligence on whatever sports you're covering. It's even more important not to speak on a sport that you have no real interest in understanding. Of course, there's nothing wrong with having a casual opinion, but I think it's fair that you acknowledge that your knowledge in that particular area is limited. But see, when you start presenting broad opinions as if they are objective facts, that's when people find it problematic. Not only is it disrespectful to someone like a Shakur Stevenson, but it can also be harmful to that person's brand and public perception. And I think that's the part a lot of people are overlooking. But anyway, I'm Jay with the Beard. Hit like, and if you're new here, pound the subscribe button. Leave a comment, let me know that you sub so I can personally welcome you to the game. So Shakur was brought on Nightcap to talk about his partnership with Zuffa Boxing and his plan for the remainder of 2026. But things quickly started to spiral after Shannon's criticism of Shakur's fighting style prompted Shakur to question whether Shannon had even watched most of his fights, or was he just riding a wave of a popular narrative that's already being pushed by other high-profile media personalities.
Okay, man, you got to go pay attention to them fights. You just, you kind of behind right now. Go watch some fights, and it'll show you everything you need to see.
I'm gonna teach you. You don't know what he's looking at. I'm gonna teach you.
I think the thing is that we're saying there's something getting lost in translation. I'm not saying that you're not a great fighter, that you're not a champion. I'm not saying that, but I think people won't, and you do a great job of hitting and not getting hit. But I think sometimes people want to see you put yourself in harm's way and get down. And I'm not saying, look, and that's what you have to do sometimes.
When you step in that ring,
you're going to have to fight.
When you step in that ring, you're in harm's way.
I disagree with that.
That's because you never put on the boxing gloves in your life.
Okay, go ahead.
If you put on the boxing gloves before, you'll understand that when you step in that motherfucking square circle, you're in harm's way. And when you go watch my last fight, since you saying I don't put myself in harm's way, who was backing up? Me or Tio?
Oh, you backed him up.
Who was backing up?
You backed him up.
So how wasn't I in harm's way?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm an Unk fan, but Shannon Sharpe lost me early on in this conversation. He has absolutely no idea of what he's talking about. Getting in any boxing ring, any MMA ring is dangerous, especially when you're at a level like Shakur. All Shakur is saying is, if you haven't watched most of my fights, how can you form such a bold opinion? which I agree with. How can you form such a bold opinion if you haven't watched his fights? Later on in this conversation, Shannon Sharpe agrees that he hadn't watched many of Shakur fights. But before that admission, he continues to give these broad, illogical opinions based off what seems to be nostalgia.
But for me, I'm just like, I've seen guys your size fight. Mayweather coming up through the ranks and was flooring people until his hands became brittle. And I watched Sugar Ray and I watched Hat and Hearns and I watched these great.
What I'm confused about is now it sounds like you're downplaying T.O. Like it sounds like this is a downplaying like who T.O. is. I mean, T.O. done showed you how great he is in other fights. Why wasn't he that great that night?
I'm not saying he's not
and
great.
We could talk about the way that you fight. No, I'm not into hitting and being hit. If that's what you're asking me, I won't do that. I will hit and don't get hit.
Are you trying to be when they talk about lightweights and super lightweights and junior welterweights, are you trying to be in that Sugar
I'm not comparing myself to none of these dudes. I'm trying to be the first Shakur Stevenson. You going at the end of my career?
I don't believe they'll rank you like that.
You going to say why was his fight so easy? Why wasn't he hurt? Because I'm that great. That's what you going to say.
We're not saying that you're not great, Shakur, but I don't believe, and this is me. This is my opinion. Joe has his opinion. Ocho believes you hung the moon. I don't believe that you're going to get the credit you deserve without knocking people out.
That's why you never boxed before.
That's not boxing.
That's how I know you never boxed before.
There ain't a professional fighter at the top of the sport who would agree that a fighter should be punched in the face more or willingly put themselves in harm's way to prove how great they are. These boxers want to show up, do their job, and leave as healthy as possible. I don't know what kind of weird Rocky Balboa fever dream got Shannon Sharpe feeling like getting your ass whipped is some kind of Hall of Fame requirement. But he's doing a great job at marketing brain damage, okay? Boxing has always been about hitting and not being hit. Boxing. Ain't nobody walking into the gym saying, you know what? I think I'm gonna test my chin today. No. They're trying to leave with the same amount of brain cells that they came in there with, bro. Simple. I'm gonna speak for all boxers here, okay? If you think me getting my face pounded in is entertaining to fans, fuck them fans. Okay, I got a little carried away. Sure, you can say that you rather watch a knockout than seeing a fight go the distance. That's a fair preference. But that's like saying basketball is only exciting when someone throws down a crazy dunk. Steph Curry not dunking on nobody don't make what he's doing any less basketball or don't make him any less great. Because just like Steph Curry, some people only focus on the exciting stuff. They only focus on the logo threes. They don't focus on what actually makes Steph Curry great, which is his ability to move off the ball. He's always running. He's running around, finding his spots. With Shakur Stevenson, some people watch and they like the way he fight because they like his defensive fighting style. They like that he's not getting hit. He's not taking that much punishment, but he's delivering. So those are details I think casual fans often overlook. When it comes to boxing, some people only see in knockouts. They only see in knockouts. And that's the problem because Shakur is not a highlight reel boxer. Honestly, most boxers are like that. Everybody is not Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr., Gervonta Davis, or Deontay Wilder. So after all that, the interview turned into a full-blown argument. They started talking about fighting each other, who had the most money, who had a college education and who didn't. At that point, their egos had completely hijacked the show. So much so that Chad Johnson had to step in and play mediator.
No chance. Hey, Shakur, I would tell you like this. Go ahead and get turkey money. Fair. Go ahead and get turkey money. You got a promising career. That shit will end. I promise you, that shit would end.
I will whoop your ass.
Ain't no way. No MMA. But
I will.
Hey, I'll fold your ass up like a lawn chair.
I guarantee you won't.
I tell you what. Them little cake blows. If you can't knock out Teofimo, you damn sure can't knock me out. And Teofimo won.
Teo beat your ass.
Hey, Shakur.
Yo.
I know you had a lot to say about that situation that I went through last year. Don't let that situation.
What situation?
I still would rather check the bank bounce. So don't let that fool
what
you.
situation?
Okay,
I know you've been fighting for a minute.
I'm confused. What situation you talking about?
Don't worry about it. We'll talk off screen.
Yeah, off screen. I got you.
I know you've been fighting for a minute. Your pocket's not that deep.
Okay, so bet it. You said something about the situation. I ain't say nothing about your situation.
No, you did. You did. You was talking because you heard what I said. I heard what you said. Somebody sent it to me that he got in a situation. Yeah. I heard what you said, and you know you said it. Don't
I probably did.
I've been mad enough to. I've been mad enough to.
But you talking about you got more money than me right now. I'm telling you. By the time I get your age, I bet I got more money than you.
No, what I said. Hold on. Hope you live to get my age.
I will. I'm gonna be here.
I've been your age. You've never been mine.
You're right. I agree.
You can't have an opinion about
what I'm trying to tell you is you're being ignorant. That's it.
I get all that. That's fine.
You're being ignorant.
Shakur, ignorant is something that should never come out of your mouth because you don't have a degree.
Okay.
I run circles around you in the classroom.
Brother, I don't give a fuck about a classroom.
Be respectful. I've never called you ignorant. I've never called you ignorant.
On the planet that has not finished high school or finished school that is smarter than the book smart motherfucker.
They didn't call me ignorant. You did. Be respectful.
You're being ignorant when it comes to the sport of boxing.
Hey, hold on. Real quick. Can I say something? Both of you are going back and forth, right?
Yeah.
Both of you are going back and forth about boxing, going about words, some of the things you're saying to each other, but both of you have opinions. Everything y'all talk about is based on opinion.
That's all I'm saying, Ocho.
What you're saying to him is an opinion based on how you feel he fights and the way he thinks about your description on his fighting style being boring. The ignorant part is also an opinion on how he thinks about how you fight, how he fights.
Anytime Ocho is the voice of reason, you have completely gone off plot, my boy. This nigga eats McDonald's to build up calluses. Now, Unc mentioned that he heard Shakur speaking on the situation that he went through last year that ultimately led to him leaving ESPN. If you somehow slept through 2025, Shannon Sharpe was going through some very serious allegations. Okay, we're not going to get into everything, but they were very, very serious. Apparently, around that time, Shannon criticized Shakur for being a boring fighter, and Shakur responded by giving his opinion on those allegations. Now, here's my theory. Maybe Shannon Sharpe already had a chip on his shoulder because of this. Because looking at this, bro, Shakur don't seem to be dead upset about anything, and he don't even remember what he said. Meanwhile, Shannon Sharpe don't look like he just remembered it. It looks like he bookmarked, highlighted, and saved in a folder called Petty Evidence. Relax, buddy. Go outside, touch some grass, and schedule a therapy session while you're at it. Look, I rock with Shannon Sharpe tough, but I have never seen him go this far out of character on Nightcap. Sure, we've seen him go back and forth with Mike Epps online. We've even seen him crash out on T. Morant at a Grizzlies game. But nothing quite like this. Now, I could sit here and say that Shannon Sharpe is completely wrong, but maybe he's just exhausted from constantly feeling like his character is under attack. At the end of the day, going back to the original disagreement, I don't think either one of them are completely wrong. I think both perspectives have value. And here's what I mean by that. Shannon is speaking from the viewpoint of the casual sports fan. Shakur is speaking from a viewpoint of a boxing purist. The reality is, to become a megastar in boxing, you usually have to be flashy enough to capture the casual audience. But to become a credible voice in sports media, you also have to have a genuine understanding of the sports you're speaking on. Because if you're going to critique Picasso, you sure as hell better know how to hold a paintbrush.